Hello again, viewers, and greetings, fellow space travelers. This is Thorn of Night, and welcome to another episode on the Refuge. And I am back here in my dirt hovel from the dirt hovel stage of the challenge. And you may notice in my hand that although I have progressed onto the wood stage, I'm using a stone axe. And the reason for this is because, as it turns out, and I tried every which way that I could think of and find out to unbind it and it just wouldn't. The wood axe is the default wand for use with World Edit, and World Edit is on here for when we go to set up things that are server related. And I tried to chop down some trees and it just gave me a start point and end point coordinates in purple lovely text. I can even show you. Let me just go ahead and show you what I'm talking about here. I have one axe here and it's down on durability. So you're thinking, well, he must be out of his mind. Well, no, it loses durability when used as a weapon. But if I go over here and try to chop this torch, it says first position set to coordinates. Yay! So I can't use this for chopping down trees. I can't. And then second position when I go to open a chest. I forgot about that. That's another added, I'll call it bonus. Not bug, but bonus. Feature. There we go. So instead, I am having to... Oh, that is some serious lag. I'm uploading right now, so I guess that has something to do with it. But I am having to... Oh my. Wow. Never noticed it was that bad while I was uploading. Maybe there's something else going on. I wonder if someone's exploring the nether, but even if they are, oh well. You may notice, once I get to the near top of this ladder, that I have modified where these little huts and stuff were. That was because of what I was mentioning at the end of the previous video. That is, this is not actually going to be where everything is. This is going to be the basement or the sub-basement, probably even sub-sub-basement, to the plateaus that are getting raised up. And I spent a lot of time digging. Tore up a bunch of the dirt from around in here, made nice little slopes and all that. And I even have a little area about, I don't know, 600 blocks away from spawn that I've been doing a lot of dirt excavation. I call it my diggy forest. So I'm using the dirt to build this up to make it look more reasonable. It still definitely looks like it is handmade, but well, let me get down there. Hold on, what am I doing? I have this so I can use it while I am recording. So there we go. I built it up like this and also tried to make some randomization on the next layer out. That way it's not just a single straight across line. I will probably do a little bit of fiddling, bring some of this down a little bit. Who knows, maybe bring some more up. But I didn't want it to be completely sheer, so I have this little envelope around the outside. So that's what that is. But up here on top is where I have, well, for right now, some trees planted so I don't have to go all the way back down there to dig. But also, this is where the actual structures are going to go. And the way I have the idea for this is the houses and the buildings are going to stick out over the edge and they're going to be supported underneath by these arms. And I have just begun the work on my house here. But as you can see, it's all acacia, and so I need the acacia. That's why that specifically is up here. But there's one thing that... Let me come back out of creative mode. I don't need to be in creative mode to explain this. There's one thing that I recently discovered, and it's kind of bothersome, but it's good to know. I don't know how to disable this, or if this is a vanilla thing, or something that's just mismatched with the server, or what. But this is so weird. You see in my hand I have a stick, and the stick can be used for identifying where claims are, and you can see that I have a claim in this area. It is claimed by me. Woohoo! Me! And that's just because I plopped down a torch, and so I have a claim. Or not a torch, but a chest. And then I extended it out to be the size of my house just because I thought it was useful. But I don't really give two hoots about the claims anyway. We're basically marking off our claims with walls. That way, we don't have to save up thousands and thousands of claims. We can just go mark off a big area and say, this is mine. So that's what's going on here. But this claim is very special, and you'll see why here in just a moment. But first, let me show you a couple of things. First, the MCMMO is on here, but because of another setting derp, whew, this is going to tickle. Let me get the torch out of my hand. It doesn't like when you have something in your offhand to activate skills. Alright. I can do this. Activate the torch. Or not the torch, but the skill. Oh. Didn't work on that one, but that's alright. That's perfectly fine. You see here how dirt has remained in the area where the sapling was planted and the tree grew. And if I plant a sapling there and there, they will definitely stay as saplings. But that is only, whoa, wow, by sole virtue of the fact that, oh, and of course I don't have a shovel on me. Sole virtue of the fact that I have 3 dirt. Well, this is in a claim, I think. Is that right? Yeah, this is in a claim, so this technically doesn't need to be the 3 dirt. But let me dirt back up here. So, this got me to thinking this nonsense about the dirt. And I actually set up an experiment with a few people on here. Why don't I just go back into this mode so you can see the results of the experiment. First off, I'm going to set up 3 areas that are, or 2 areas rather, that are clearly inside and outside the claim. And they are going to be 3 tall. And I'm going to place a sapling on the top of either of them. Works just fine. This is the one that's inside the claim. This is the one that's outside the claim. So I'll break these. Now, I'm going to take off 1 dirt off the bottom here. That way it is 2 blocks of dirt and 2 spaces of air. I can plant there. Expected. I cannot plant here at all. Does not matter. Even though I am admin, it does not matter. I place 1 more dirt. And I can plant right there. If I take that dirt away, it stays put. As a matter of fact, if I take that away, it stays put. Let's go ahead and do this. That stays. That plants. Inside the claim, outside the claim. No. Nope, nope, nope. Nope, 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 nope. And it's not just here either. Let me go over here into the desert. Boo, ba boo. Experiment time. Let's get some dirt above the ground. Do 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 do. Hello. Weirdo. I can plant that. Yay, expected. I cannot plant this. Even in creative mode, it won't let me put a sapling there. So, what I had to do, if I had known this in the first place, I would have built this differently. But I didn't, and I don't even know why this is a thing or how it's a thing. But I guess I don't need this here. I'll break it down later. I just had that there as a reminder. But let's go in here. What I did was lose my torches. Is this my offhand? This is my offhand. There we go. So I can put a torch on the wall there. And there. There we go. There's one. Break these because they're unnecessary. What I did is wherever there's a sapling planted up there in the array, I put these stalactites of dirt so that it is 3 thick. Now right around here, don't need them. Over here, however, I do need them. And it doesn't matter if it's inside or outside. It didn't matter that it was a desert or a savanna or a jungle or plains or a forest or roof forest. It did not matter. The only way that you can plant a sapling on dirt, bare dirt, doesn't matter about the grass. You can plant it on grass all day. But the only way you can plant the sapling on bare dirt, on here for some reason, that is such that there are fewer than 3 dirt in a stack, and it is all airspace underneath. It can even be just one airspace. The only way to get that to work is if it is claimed land. I tried this on other people's claims, and then immediately right outside, and they tried it too, and it's a great big experiment. I am so confused why this is a thing. I don't know if this is vanilla, or if this is just some sort of strange interaction between plugins, but all I know is it was very surprising to me. So what I've had to do is adjust this area here so that I can actually plant. It's unfortunate, but it's what I've got. I could wait for the dirt to turn back into grass, but if I need to replant sooner rather than later, replanting is better sooner. So that's what I've been doing recently. I built this up, capped it off, planted some trees, started my house, tried to replant the trees, found the dirt dilemma, and here we are on the top of this first plateau. Now, I had mentioned that I'm going to be connecting the plateaus by footbridges, and now hopefully it makes a little bit more sense why I wanted to raise it up here. I can fly on my own foot. A footbridge between there and the equivalent over here makes perfect sense. A footbridge between here and here, however, especially if I'm going to include sag, makes 0 sense at all. So that's why I did it. I wanted there to be footbridges, and so this had to come up. And also, it looks really neat up above. From up here, the savanna floor looks a lot more interesting. I have decided that I'm going to probably be putting farms around each of these little ponds here. I might fill in this pond. That way, I can start the actual farmland down there instead of using the village. Because all the villagers are gone. All villagers are gone. All of them. 100% gone and dead. Either they despawned somehow magically, or zombies spawned in the rooms with them and ate their faces. Whatever the case may be, they are just simply gone. So, bye-bye, Ghost Town. Hello, future farmlands. And also, hello again to the Refuge. I'm going to get back to work here and do a lot of tree chopping and a little bit of building, and then I'm going to probably snoop around, see what's going on with other people's builds, and then I'll be back. Alright, I have been fairly busy with my house over here. And I just discovered something recently, or rather, we just discovered something recently. Right now, there are only 4 people on the server. 3 of which are admins. Cuddles, Jojo, and myself. The 4th is Elmaze11, and apparently, as long as all of the non-opt players sleep in a bed, it sets it to morning. it doesn't matter if there are 10 admins and one non-admin. As long as that one non-admin sleeps in a bed, morning just happens. We don't have to do any of it. That was just Elmaze sleeping in a bed. That's it. The experiment it has been performed a dozen times now, with and without admins using the beds, and with only one admin on, with multiple admins on. It's just another effect that's going on. I don't know why or how. Just taking it in stride. But anyway, I have, well, among other things, moved my dogs up here. But I've been working on my house. It's coming along nicely. Have the trophy room here, along with a bunch of heads, including some fish heads, roly-poly fish heads. I have my workroom with space enough for furnaces and more chests. Golden shovel, can't use that for what I typically use golden shovels for. Ever since the inception of making, well, let's see here, do I have any more wooden shovels in here? I'll just use this to demonstrate. I need to craft another one, but when you use a shovel on grass, not on dirt, but on grass, it does the tilling. However, use a golden shovel, it starts a claim, and this is annoying. So I don't. It's fascinating. Anyway, oh good, that didn't do the claim. I was afraid it hadn't occurred to me that it might have said, all right, starting there, going to there, here's the claim. Oh well. So let me unpath this. Boop. All right, now finishing the tour. The gold shovel, because of the claims, and the wood axe because of World Edit, are on display here as reminders. I then have my office, which will eventually have some bookcases in here, or bookshelves rather. A modest storage room, getting started, and I can stack, well, not there, but I can stack that one more tall. And there's room for when I can start doing the trapped chests. I have some decorative end caps here. This is the kitchen. Future furnaces go there. Future sink. Then I have a nice back patio thing overlooking the glorious desert and off into the melons. Off into the melons. I will be turning these into grass eventually. And also putting some leaf blocks on there for sheared leaves. Then up here will be my bedroom and a guest room. For right now, it's just a plain bed on a floor, but that's perfectly fine. Let's get down here. Also, let me look over the edge. I have finished the supports that go up and hold the house in place. And I have even begun work on setting up the actual stage requirement farmland. So what I'm going to do is have 4 farms. That will be beetroot, wheat, carrots, and potatoes. And I don't know, I might fill this in or surround it with sugar cane, or I don't know. I'll do something with it, I'm sure. But yeah, things are coming along. I'm pretty happy with the progress. However, I'm at the point where I'm splitting my time between setting up these farms now and doing some fishing. I've gotten my fishing pole almost, my first fishing pole almost dead. As a matter of fact, /fishing. It says that I am level 34. I've set the requirement to level 50 so that in order for people to pass the wood stage, it must be 50, which is to say for the refugee to regent wood stage. Anyone else can just fish however much or however little they want. However, I am thinking of upping it to 100 because it is really easy to get 100 levels of fishing. The first 100 are a cinch. The, the 30 some odd that I have is just from a little bit of fishing, alternating between fishing and setting up that farm. So, not much time at all. What did I just see in the distance? Was that a coloration issue? Okay, yeah, that was weird. I thought I saw something out of the corner of my screen. Weird. On my screen, something turns yellow there. Anyway, distraction, distraction. So, here's what I'm thinking is as people do their challenges, when they are done with the wood stage, I'm going to go ahead and just dedicate probably most of a video to exploring their build to see what they've done and to show off what their build style is. Or what their styles are in the case of people who have decided to work together. For instance, JoJo and White Cat are working together. Elmaze and Interlady are working together. Why do I have so much frame rate drop when I look there? What is causing that? Is it the leaves? Is it because I have fancy leaves on? That is very strange. This should not be a thing on my computer. My computer is very, very beefy. Oh. No, it's not the jungle. I have no idea what's causing it then. Okay, confusing. Anyway, as I was saying, I'm going to be just instead of doing little gradual updates on here's what they're doing now and here's what they're doing now and so on and so forth, I'm just going to wait until one of them says they're done and then see if I can get a tour or do a tour of their build, the wood stage, and then do the different stages in that same fashion. That way, I'm not trying to keep on top of everyone all at the same time and then all in one episode go, alright, this one's done, and this one's done, and this one's done. Instead, I'm just going to go as things happen. Which, speaking of as things happen, I've been spending a bit more time doing some config file tweaking and some plugin researching than I have been doing any actual building. I have gotten a lot done on my house, don't get me wrong, but I am spending a fair bit of time setting up the server, and that's going to take probably quite a bit more time to get just the way I want it. So I have a lot of that to look forward to, but there are a few more things I want to try to get done, including, I don't know, a bedroom, and maybe a few other things before I am done with the episode. What I will probably also try to do is get the other three farms in place. Uh, Regardless of whether I have to farm houses, I at least want to get the crops growing. So there's that. So I'm going to get back to work, and I'll be right back. So something's occurred to me while I've been working down here on the different farms. I've actually managed to finish surrounding all of the farms. The beetroot is even almost fully done, and the carrots and potatoes over there are also fully planted. The wheat is fully grown, ready to be harvested, and all that. Actually, I think both of these are fully ready to be harvested too. But what's occurred to me is, as I've been looking up at this terrace, first off, there's a brown sheep up there that wasn't there not too long ago. But I need to add some trees. Like, maybe plant a tree right there, or have one right there growing up that way. Oh, you can see the cactus inside there. And a couple more, because there are some trees that are on the sides. I don't know if I want them all to be acacia, maybe some oak trees, just to have something on the side so it's not just stark dirt. But I do want it to be dirt towers. I don't want it to be stone because for it just doesn't feel right as being a stone, at least not yet. When I get to the stone stage, I might be able to start doing some slow conversion and turning some of it into stone, like maybe having some stone like in this area, like a little bit of stone coming up, and then maybe a little bit of stone in some of the high spots there, but I don't want to overdo it on stone. But I have begun work on the second terrace over there, and it's coming along nicely. I have been getting lots and lots and lots of dirt, but more importantly, home, home, my house is done. I have finished everything. A lot of this you saw before. I've managed to green thumb the dirt back here and get some flowers for now. Eventually I will change a couple of those to leaf blocks, but I have added bedrooms up here. One for me with a nice little balcony overlooking things, and then a guest bedroom as one of my additional rooms. Also, I have this wall here that looks over where the kitchen is, and also the balcony back there. But what I wanted to do is just leave this so that if I wanted to expand that way, I could just punch this out and make a doorway here and use that as a room. But for right now, it's fine as is. Ooh, it's getting nighttime. But I have one last thing that I want to do, or that I need to do for my house, and that is make an audience chamber, and I was planning on putting it here. I might have access to it at the end of the hall there, but I want it to be separate from the main body. Now, the trees that I've added here, standard acacia, a little bit of grass spamming. I think I'll thin it out, maybe tone it back to about half of as dense as it is. But I also have these here, and what I plan on doing with them is making like this little tuft right here that's around this log. I'm thinking of putting that on the top here to make stunted acacias. That way I have young, fully grown, and young acacia. Add a little bit more diversity to the plant. There'll be custom trees mostly, but I'll be sticking basically with the design that's centered around here. It'll be like the 3x3 with the out juts on the next layer down. I added some path here. Let's see here. I think I managed to get all of the non-pumpkin and melon crops out of the farms here. Yes. That wall cuts this in half. I'm going to be removing that terrace and terraforming that a little bit. I think the road that I'm going to have, because I don't know if how well you can tell this because it is kind of dark, but this slope right here is kind of straight, so I can have like a little footpath coming down and going down to access the village from the side here. Sorry about that. The dark was just a little overwhelming. I had to make it daytime. Anyway, as I was saying, right there, let me zoom in here, I'm going to have the road go down and just access all the stuff down there on the mesa, I did it again, the savanna floor. So, there we go. A access point down to the cheap seats and the agricultural and domesticated animals area. I do need to start getting in some of the different critters, the sheep, the pigs, the chickens, the cows. Sheep will be easy. Everything else seems to be a little bit annoying right now. But we'll get that figured out long term. I am also almost done with fiddling around down in there. which means I'm going to need to also find another means of basically getting off of this plateau. I don't need to keep going through the middle. I want to have some sort of path down or something. So I'll figure that out. But that's going to have to be something in the future. I have a lot on my plate right now, including with getting the server set up. There's a bunch of stuff going on behind the scenes, getting the plugin config files working the way we want to. So, like for instance, mineshaft minecarts don't just disappear all the time, and other things that need to be tweaked, plugins that need to be added, some that need to be removed or just updated or changed. There's a bunch of stuff going on. Still growing pains right now, but we'll get it all figured out. So I need to get back to work on other stuff right now. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. Thank you very much for watching. If you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, please feel free to leave them in the comment section below, and I will be more than happy to get back to you as quick as I can. If you liked this video and you like what I'm doing here, please feel free to give a like. I do appreciate it, and it does help. And if you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe so you know when my future stuff comes out. But I'm going to let you go. Thank you once again for watching. This is Thorn of Night on the Refuge, and I will talk to you later. Crazy spiders, crazy.